So when foreigners notice that more Japanese people don't bathe properly anymore, the lazy answer shows up immediately. It's Japanese culture. They've always been like that. They don't care about hygiene. That explanation is comforting. It requires zero thinking. And it's completely wrong. Because for most of modern history, Japan was obsessed with cleanliness. Public baths weren't optional luxuries. They were daily infrastructure. Hot water, soap, towels, time. Not symbols of wealth, just normal life. Even low-income households bathed regularly. Even cramped apartments prioritized hot water. Even people working brutal hours still washed. So if bathing habits are changing now, something else changed first. And it wasn't values, it wasn't discipline, it wasn't culture, it was money. Over the last 20 years, Japan quietly rewrote daily life economics. Electricity got more expensive, gas prices rose, water bills climbed, apartment sizes shrank, bathtubs disappeared, showers turned into optional features. At the same time, wages froze, not slowed, not lagged, frozen. For millions of people, bathing is no longer a routine, it's a calculation. Is today worth the gas bill? Is hot water necessary tonight? Can this wait until tomorrow? Can I just wipe down and sleep? No one announces this shift, no press conference, no cultural debate. It just happens quietly, inside bathrooms that no longer get used. This isn't about being lazy, it's about survival math. When rent eats half your income, hygiene becomes negotiable. When electricity spikes, comfort disappears first. When time is stolen by commuting and exhaustion, self-care becomes a luxury item. And Japan is now full of people living like that. Not because they want to, because they have to. This chapter isn't about blaming individuals. It's about understanding how a wealthy country normalized living conditions that feel strangely downgraded. The hygiene decline didn't start in the bathroom. It started in the economy. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. If you want to understand why people stop bathing, stop looking at bathrooms, look at utility bills. In Japan, hot water is not free, it is not cheap. And lately, it is not predictable. Gas prices have risen steadily, then sharply. Electricity bills followed, not in dramatic headlines. In monthly statements, people quietly dread opening. A single bath uses far more energy than a quick shower. Heating water to fill a tub is one of the most expensive daily actions in a small apartment. So people adapt. First, baths become showers. Then showers become shorter. Then showers become not today. This is not theory. This is how people behave under pressure. Young workers living alone start skipping baths on weekdays. They tell themselves they'll do it on the weekend. Weekend comes, they're exhausted. So maybe Sunday night, then Monday again. Middle-aged workers do the same math. So do elderly people on fixed pensions. Public baths used to absorb this cost. Sento were cheap, nearby, and social. But many closed. Operating costs rose, customers disappeared. The safety net evaporated. What replaced it? New apartments are smaller. Many don't even have real bathtubs. Unit baths save space, water, and money. They also quietly discourage regular bathing. Developers call this efficiency. Tenants feel it as loss. And here's the part no one likes to say out loud. When hygiene costs money, hygiene becomes class-based. People with stable incomes still bathe daily. People without stability compromise, not because they don't care, because they can't afford to care every day. Japan didn't become dirtier overnight. It became more expensive to stay clean. And once hot water turns into a financial decision, the decline is inevitable. This is not about shame, it's about arithmetic. And the math keeps getting worse. Money is only half the story. The other half is time, and Japan steals it efficiently. Even people who technically can afford hot water often don't have the energy to use it. Long commutes, unpaid overtime, shift work that ignores human biology, trains packed so tightly that your body stops feeling like your own. By the time many people get home, bathing feels less like refreshment and more like another task on a list that never ends. Take a typical weekday. Leave home before sunrise. Stand for an hour on the train. Work all day. Stay late because everyone else stays late. Another hour back. You're not dirty because you don't care. You're dirty because you're depleted. So people compromise. They wash their face, change clothes, use wet wipes, spray deodorant, convince themselves it's basically the same. This is how hygiene declines without anyone noticing. Japan loves to talk about discipline, but discipline collapses under chronic exhaustion. Self-care requires surplus. Time is a resource. Japan has made it scarce. Single people suffer the most. No one is waiting at home. No social pressure. No shared routines. No reason to perform cleanliness for anyone else. And the loneliness accelerates neglect. When your life shrinks to work and sleep, your body becomes a tool, not something you tend. That's not cultural indifference. That's burnout. Ironically, Japan still teaches children to clean classrooms. Adults, meanwhile, are too exhausted to clean themselves properly. The country praises endurance, but endurance has a smell, and it's not noble. People assume hygiene is a personal choice. That's convenient. It lets systems off the hook. But hygiene depends on infrastructure, and Japan has been quietly dismantling it. Sento used to be everywhere, not nostalgic postcard versions. Functional, cheap, walkable public baths. They existed because homes were small and utilities were limited. They worked because the economy supported them. Then three things happened. Operating costs exploded. Owners aged out with no successors. Customers disappeared because life schedules broke. Thousands of Sento closed. No replacement plan, no public discussion. Municipalities let them die because they weren't profitable. What replaced them? Coin showers, capsule gyms with shared stalls, or nothing at all. Public bathing went from daily necessity to niche leisure, a wellness experience, something you do when you have time and money. At the same time, housing standards declined, micro-apartments normalized, bathtubs removed, ventilation weakened, humidity trapped. Developers marketed this as minimalist living. What it really meant was fewer chances to wash properly. And then there's the unspoken group. People sleeping in internet cafes, people couch surfing, people living in company dorms with shared, limited facilities. They don't show up in hygiene statistics. They don't complain. They just disappear from public perception. Japan didn't lose its sense of cleanliness. It lost the structures that made cleanliness easy. When systems vanish, individuals absorb the blame. That's how decline hides. And it keeps hiding. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Japan didn't stop caring about hygiene. It stopped caring about everyday hygiene. Cleanliness didn't disappear. It moved. Public spaces still look spotless. Stations get cleaned. Offices get wiped. Hotels sparkle. But private lives tell a different story. People now clean for others, not for themselves. You shower before meeting someone. You bathe before a date. You wash carefully before going to the office. And on days when no one will see you, you skip it. This is what happens when society values appearance over well-being. Hygiene turns into a performance, a mask you put on when required, a role you play when observed, and it matches everything else in modern Japan. Formal clothes hiding exhaustion, polite speech hiding anger, orderly streets hiding precarity. When people live alone, work too much, earn too little, and expect nothing to improve, they stop maintaining invisible standards. Not because they gave up on themselves, because no one rewarded caring. This isn't a cultural flaw, it's a systemic outcome. A society that once built daily life around maintenance now only maintains what's visible. The rest decays quietly. So when someone says, Japanese people don't bathe properly anymore, The correct response isn't judgment, it's diagnosis. Because when a rich country starts smelling like poverty, the problem isn't soap, it's the economy.